Recording. Here we go. Starting now. This is the Almost Sideshow. This is season 4, episode 5 of Barry.
Clark,
What happened? I'm Terry. We've got Adam.
Thelma and Louise. They drove off a cliff. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I realize you need if you're pulling something crazy like this, you need an episode of setup. But what?
I hate time jumps.
You're gonna waste one of your last episodes on that? An entire episode of establishing your new. Talking to my wife before this, and she hadn't watched last week's episode yet. She hadn't watched season 4, episode 4 yet, and I was like, it's like everything goes crazy. All these storylines just got flipped on their heads. What is going to happen next? Oh, we're going to do a time jump. Okay. And I was just talking to her before we started recording. I'm like, the story's going up, and now it's here. It's like
puttered.
It's not even on the picture anymore. It's somewhere off in left field, and we've moved over there now. I mean, it's like in the we're going to extra innings in Game 7 of the World Series, and we've moved to the golf course next door and gave your big time slugger a putter and said, "Can you make a 50-footer?"
50-footer. Yeah, I had some. We mentioned the time jump thing. I was like, oh, I hope it's not a time jump. I hope it's just a memory or a dream sequence.
Fantasy.
And then it was kind of confirmed that it was a time jump on Twitter. We hit one of our listeners, I guess, I Heart Hater.
Yeah, shout out to our listener.
Almost Sideways. It was confirmed on the Prestige TV podcast. It is officially an 8-year time jump. Barry #HBO. So thank you, I Heart Hater. That was pretty nuts there. And then we going back to the last episode to highlight something. There was another fun comment I want to read off at the end of this episode. So it was basically confirming like the reason why Noel Hank's actions were the way they were. So they seemed off is because they failed killing Barry, so he had to make a deal to protect himself. Now he's making the deal with the Chechens, so that's why he completely seemed different. That is something we didn't even talk about, and it makes perfect sense. So shout out to that listener on the YouTube channel there. So if you're listening to this on podcast, we also have videos too there. So make sure you make your voice heard. Hit us up on Twitter at Almost Sideways and YouTube as well. So I'll find that YouTube creator or channel there, and I'll shout him out at the very end here. So,
but the thing about NoHo Hank, though, I mean, going to that point, his friendships, his relationships always trumped his self-survival. Right? He's not Fuchs. He's not like gonna survival the fittest here or survival the craftiest. What mattered most to him was what he lost. Anyways, none of that matters because apparently the show doesn't care about NoHo Hank anymore. The show doesn't care about Fuchs anymore. We're jumping 8 years in the future. Yeah, no. How did he get out of the apartment? No one cares. No one cares. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna jump 8 years in the future and assume it all happened just fine. And I'm sure they're gonna explain it. But really, you've got 4 episodes left, and you do a time jump. And I was talking to my brother Todd about this, and he was saying, well, maybe it's parallel storylines. Apparently, Better Call Saul did something like that at the end of it. At the end of Better Call Saul, where they did a time jump, then they told parallel storylines after the time jump, and he's like, and that worked. But that's not what they're doing. They just did a time jump.
For the audio listeners out there, I just did a big head roll and eye roll there. Yeah, that would be, I don't know. Let me prove it. Let me see it first before I really judge it. But yeah, that I don't know.
I don't know. This is weird.
It's like American Sweethearts. It's the who is it? Is that Stanley Tucci? I don't know. One of the characters is like, yeah, when he's like talking about Christopher Walken's like his film. He's like, yeah, I got no notes. That's exactly what I have. I have no notes on here. I have no idea what we're going to talk about today's episode, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Let's go.
I mean, it's the second time in 5 episodes this season so far that they've taken an entire episode to establish setting, right? Episode 1, they took the entire episode to establish the setting of Barry in prison and everything that's going on around that. No plot, just setting the stage. And then you go through all of that in the next 3 episodes. All the plot you're going to tell. I'm like I said, I have faith in this show. I've had moments where I've doubted where they're going in the past, and then they steer you right moving forward. But what the hell are they doing?
This may be my least favorite episode.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Of the entire series.
And there's a chance they bring it all around and they go back and they tell the story through what's going to be happening. We know one made it to that. Anyways, let's actually get into this. Let's do this. We're already like 7 minutes into our recording session and we haven't even started our regular part of the episode. So we're just ranting.
Now let's go ahead. Scheduled programming. Terry, what's this about today?
Yeah, let's do it. Here's our summary. Season 4, episode 5 is entitled Tricky Legacies. Have you noticed the theme music hasn't been playing for, I want to say like the last season and a half. I don't think it played ever in season 3 either. It's kind of sad. I miss that theme music. Anyways, here is our synopsis of this episode. Guess what? It wasn't a fantasy. We are now, according to IMDb, about 10 years, but 8 to 10 years in the future, watching Barry and Sally, Clark and Emily, living with their son John and trying to shelter him as much as possible from finding out who they really are. Emily works at a diner, gets drunk, and tries to sleep with the cook. Clark researches Abe Lincoln and keeps his kid from finding out what Call of Duty is. Sally hates her new life, but at least it's with Barry. Knocks at the door spook them, and Barry pulls out his gun while the other two hide in the bathtub. At the very end, we hear Warner Brothers is making a Barry Berkman biopic, and Gene comes out of hiding from another country after being presumed missing or dead to give his side of the story. Now, Barry needs to kill Kusanov. That's the episode. That's the shortest synopsis I've written for any episode in this whole damn show. As my tagline on our video feed says, from the immortal words of Gina, I think it was Gina, I need a Zanny. Adam, what do you think?
I just like time jumps. Man,
why do you do it? You had everything set up perfectly. It was teed up. It was like, what is going to happen? Oh, we're going to skip that.
You know all that stuff you were really looking forward to? It's not important right now.
Yeah, skip it.
What's important is that we changed Barry's son's name from Denzel to, what was it, John?
John Berkman Jr. How is he a junior? Barry? Even if he's Clark, how is it John Berkman Jr.? He's billed as that. I don't think they've ever called him John Berkman Jr., but he's billed as John Berkman Jr. on IMDb.
Like his name is Clark, and he kind of looks like Clark Griswold a little bit in this episode. So
he is giving off some Chevy Chase vibes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me want to watch Vacation because it's celebrating an anniversary this year. Anyway. Yeah, this is a frustrating watch. I don't know. everybody kind of seemed miserable and unhappy, and I also kind of reflected the tone of the show, which was miserable and unhappy. Luckily, I did watch Ted Lasso, which was a really good episode. But
Did you also, like Sally, find a bottle of Smirnoff and just start chugging?
no, but I remember that I got a Mac and Jack's in a can in my fridge. So I was like, I'm gonna take that for the podcast. Yeah,
You needed a little something.
just a little bit.
Yeah,
All right, that's what I got.
Like I said, the show hasn't ever really steered us wrong. And we've had moments where, like, I don't know about this, but we'll see. These last 3 episodes better be something. Because I don't know.
It's just, it might be just tempering our expectations.
Well, what's interesting is,
maybe,
like I said on the last episode, and why I thought it was a fantasy of his, is he's had many of these fantasies over the course of this season that have been in the exact setting where his new house is.
Yeah, there's a good point.
Out in the middle of nowhere in this desert area. I mean, all the stuff about him as a kid, meeting Fuchs for the first time, the wedding party running in, which you can assume is like his kid getting married. Now, is that a fantasy? Or is that another time jump ahead another 15, 20 years? We don't know now.
Barry, or no Hank. That's I don't know.
This is the first episode I think we've not heard from Fuchs or Hank. Barely hear from Gene in the entire show.
Henry Winkler looks weird with a beard.
He does.
Yeah, Gene's does not look like good with a beard. Question for you, Terry.
Yeah.
Does your mom put hair on top of her hair?
Yeah, that
was a cringy question.
I hope we can be together next time in harmony.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, we'll try that next time. Okay, see you later.
What a weirdo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with this episode.
What's your not so frustrating scene of this episode?
All right, yeah, this was the hardest one, is to find the best scene, because there really isn't anything that happens. But my best scene is the dinner scene around the crappy chicken pot pie. And Barry is talking about Lincoln, and because he's trying to inspire his son of how, from humble beginnings you can become anything. And you know what 3 qualities I love most in Lincoln? Pragmatism, optimism, compromise.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel too.
But yeah, this is exactly what did you say? Pragmatism, optimism. Yeah, those. And now he's on a penny. Now he's on a penny. And pennies can buy socks and shoelaces.
You use those.
You use hairpins. It's an intricate part of life, son.
He's not on money, any other money but a penny.
Well, they talked earlier about the $5 bill, but Drunk Sally is going off on pennies. Be so inspired that you could be on a penny. I mean, pennies are worth nothing.
Yeah, they actually cost more to make them.
I know. Yeah.
Good
that's
stuff.
That's my least frustrating scene.
Yeah.
What about you?
That one waitress and Sally getting a Zanny in the bathroom was pretty funny.
Oh, and her spinning that story about how she can't come to the party because Clark's mom is plugged into all the machines.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty funny. It reminded me of a comedian who said, when you get older, you look forward to popping those Advils, and then you love the candy coat, the little candy coat that they put on those Advils to help kill the pain that's in every aching crevice of your body. That's kind of what that scene reminded me of with the Xannies.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Fuchs bag.
Kind of. I want to say Natalie in a way. Natalie, that one time said we were gonna fire you in season 2 because you weren't really any good. Like back when you were a kid, you weren't any good. But we were gonna fire you. But thankfully you got better, and yeah, kind of like right on the air, just basically just putting down all your work on it. That was kind of like a little bigger than her. I was like, but it's kind of cool that she actually in this universe that Sally's still mad at her or jealous of her.
Oh yeah, totally jealous. Now, how much of Natalie's show survived because it was good, or did it survive because she was the one that was yelled at by Sally?
She was yelled at because of Sally.
You think so? I mean, it's
I
possible.
That's
maybe
Sally
that gave a second chance. But I mean, you think about it, if it's an 8-year time jump, she's been on for 8 or 9 seasons now. Yeah. One epic viral moment does not buy you 9 seasons.
Yeah, get in Big Bang territory there.
Yeah. All right. My Fuchs bag is whoever knocked on their door. Like, it was just some meddling kids, some raff. I don't even know what word I'm trying to say, but some kids causing riffraff. Some troublemakers around town. But where is anybody else around town? I mean, they're literally in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. But yeah, whoever knocked on their door, they're douche.
Good point.
The stick man of the episode.
Couple options here. The cook is one, obviously.
Bevel, yeah.
Yeah, Bevel.
Or his brother Dom, who's in prison for a botched robbery attempt.
Yeah, because of family, probably.
Yeah. It's never forget your family.
There's probably a joke in there somewhere about Fast.
It's got to be a joke. There's got to be a joke.
But I'm gonna say a stick man because he was in the ground. He was planted to the ground like a stick, and that's Barry. He stayed out there all night just in one spot.
That's not bad.
I was like, oh, that's gonna be my stick. It's definitely, yeah. Let me see your foot. God, that was so awkward. Anyway.
Yeah. I had Bevel down, but if I'm going to go with someone else, I'm going to go with, I had to write this down quick because I have no idea what I was referencing. Maybe it'll pay off at some point. Larry Chowder, Magical Boy. The big billboard outside the studio right before we see Gene. Larry Chowder, Magical Boy. I mean, if you're in something called that, you've got to be.
That's a sack pull right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that one as a compliment. Not many Zach pulls could be taken as a compliment, but I'll take that one.
But that's good. He always notices the billboards. He always notices the billboards, and that was a good one because that was probably the most entertaining billboard that they had because that's the one they, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's John Hamm, best new face. There's no faces I recognize that are new.
Natalie, that's about the only one.
That's not new.
Yeah. She hadn't been on for the last couple episodes.
She hadn't been on at all this season. Yeah, I went with Travis, the other little kid. It was there was a very Sandlot moment there between the two of them.
Yeah, definitely. John played like Smalls for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a familiar face, but my minor character was Travis.
Okay. My Jermaine favorite minor character was Natalie, because I just love seeing her because it reminds me of the acting class.
Yeah, and everything goes back to the acting class
for sure. Back in the simpler times.
The simpler when it's not 8 years ahead of time. Yeah, Travis, because hey man, you're almost as good. You're good. You can play right field for us.
You're good enough to play right field. Next time your dad takes a nap, come on over to my place. I'll teach you how to hit.
It's a good one. Yeah, the funny thing is, right field is like a spot where you need a really good outfielder now. It's like it's the left field in baseball.
Not
but
when you're playing with a bunch of kids when like 90% of them are going to be right-handed.
yeah, they can't hit the yeah. I just think
it's
it's funny.
It's like slow pitch softball. Where do you put the guy who can't play? Right field.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, because no one's going to hit it out there.
You just put a really good left center fielder so they can get over there. That's
Exactly. Yeah, my favorite minor character is Natalie. I mean, she's got a show that it lasted 9 seasons. Let's see here. It was quoted. The president quoted her show on the State in the State of the Union. I mean, this is good stuff. Like, she's actually a legit big thing, big hit. Even though that line about black licorice was really dumb, but everybody laughed at it on the laugh track. But
I kind of dig black licorice.
yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's not like it's better than like jelly beans with the like buttered popcorn or something like that. That the popcorn artificial popcorn flavor is nasty. And jelly beans. I don't know. I'll stop that with
butter popcorn jelly beans isn't bad,
but I don't know.
Black licorice, I've never been a fan. Give me a red licorice all day.
Red licorice. That's my go-to movie theater treat.
Oh, yeah. Nice. The Barry relatable moment.
I also played right field.
You.
At one point, I also played right field. You weren't expecting that.
I was not expecting that. That was great.
That was better than the episode.
All right, my very relatable moment is sitting on the couch with your significant other doing 2 completely different things and being perfectly content with it.
Yeah, the older you get, or the more in the relationship you are, like you're just, it's that that company, being the company of the person you love is just as satisfying because it's still like you're there and you're like, oh, that's good quality time, and perfectly content. Yeah, that's actually a good call.
Even if one is watching their rival's show and the other one is researching Abraham Lincoln. More and more.
Yeah. The more you know.
All right. LVP of the episode is...
This episode.
The episode itself is the LVP.
Yeah.
My LVP, I have Lincoln, St. Augustine, and Gandhi. Because, you know, Lincoln killed Native Americans. And he told black people to go back to Africa. That's not good.
And Gandhi, you know, said no to his wife's medicine, but took the medicine, you know.
But when it was his turn and he was sick, he said, give me the drugs. That's not good. You know, the original could be Gandhi. And
that's actually a really good impression.
And St. Augustine, I mean, he's like the greatest saint of them all. I mean, he was addicted to bathhouses. So
he couldn't get clean.
Yeah.
He was dirty all the time. You thought Pigpen from Rugrats was dirty.
The more you know.
Yeah,
the more you know.
Yeah, way dirtier.
Did you just say Pigpen from Rugrats?
Peanuts.
Chucky would never allow himself to play with someone named Pigpen. Phil and Lil would have kicked their butts.
Chucky was a good horror icon, though. Oh, wait, we're talking about the 2 different redheaded Chuckies. Yeah, never mind. Did I say
that one
Rugrats?
Was not as good?
I honestly say
you said Rugrats. You said Pigpen from Rugrats. I mean,
how much alcohol is in this?
Come on.
I drank only half of this thing. Okay, it's not funny anymore.
Obviously, I agree.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, MVP of the episode is obviously Mega Girls 4. They must still be searching for the Infinity Orb, because she's back in Mega Girls 4. We were making fun of Mega Girls last episode. Now it's 8 years later, and they're making the 4th one. Apparently,
Nice.
it's a big thing now. I don't
wonder
know.
if it broke Avatar's record at the box office. Let's see. What indie director was directing that movie? That's gonna be an interesting one.
Oh.
Chloe Zhao. Okay. MVP. The credits. MVP. I think that Travis is a good MVP candidate because baseball. Actually, baseball is a good shout out here because it brings two boys who had disagreements to be friends
Are they now in harmony?
together
In harmony?
Or in the outfield, one in right field, one in left field, probably.
Harmony in the outfield?
There was harmony in the outfield and in the infield.
Oh gosh. Oh, another good MVP is the story of Jesus and the feeding of the 5,000. Because God gives you what you need. So you got me the new comforter? No, I didn't get you the new comforter.
That was a good line. That was actually a pretty good line.
Or YouTube and the nightmares it can cause. Mom, I don't want to get killed by a baseball.
That play would not have broke the kid's neck.
The kid getting killed by the line drive was pretty good though.
But yeah, man, did you see that Ryan Yarborough one though?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I heard about it.
He is messed up. Yeah, he got.
It can happen, but
owie.
But oh man.
Anyway,
Clark. All right, what's happening next? What? All right, here's what I think is going to happen. We are going to hear Gene tell the studio execs the story
on stage,
and of course on stage, new one-man show, and fill in the gap.
Okay.
Like that. That's what happened.
Obvious now, yeah.
That has to be what happened, or he starts to see flashbacks of it. Maybe, or we just go with it, and he has to go back to L.A. to kill Gene, and he's like sneaking around. NoHo Hank is now the big crime boss. He is now Goron from the very beginning. The big time guy, the whole kit in the poodle, and then we see Gene. I mean, he's been in hiding. Do you think? Ooh, okay. So follow me on this. Gene left and went into hiding. I think, did he go into hiding before he realized he killed his son, maybe? Like, he never checked on him. He just shot and ran. Could he have gone off to another country and been there this whole time? Not realizing what actually happened? That doesn't make any sense.
I would hate that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's as good as an idea as any there, Terry.
I mean, it's got to be something like that. I mean, I think Barry goes to LA to kill Gene and sees where everyone is now. That's the best you can.
Okay, here we go.
Go for.
This is gonna wrap it up and maybe frustrate some people. They do a flashback episode per the Dear Gene thing. He kills Jim. That's how they leave. Jim confronts him. He kills Jim, and then he goes into hiding. And then the next episode, he has to kill Gene or no Hank and then Gene. Yeah.
And Fuchs, what's going on with Fuchs?
He's alive somewhere.
Of course, he's got to be alive somewhere.
He's probably stapling something.
But the thing is, that what I want to know, to quote Stanley Goodspeed, played by Nicolas Cage in The Rock, paraphrase, how in the name of Zeus's butthole did you get out of the apartment? That may be useful information? Maybe. That's what I want to know.
I
How
think
did
that's the
apartment? Jim watched Sally walk in. Oh, we're just gonna skip that part.
It's a good call. I don't know. I have no answers.
I have no
No
answers either.
suggestions. I think that's as good a place as any to close it.
We've got 3 more episodes of the show, and
what a Debbie Downer this episode was.
They're gonna go and do something like this, and totally redeem themselves. They have a shot. They got 3 episodes to redeem it, but man, this took a weird turn.
So
like
you're telling me there's a chance?
We've questioned what they've done in the past, and then they fixed it and steered us right in the end. There's a good chance they do that to us again. But as of right now, ugh. You get us on the highest of highs after that last episode, which might have been their best episode they've ever done. And then you throw this at us? I don't know.
It's Game of Thrones theory. Is where they give a really good episode almost near the end. They give you kind of a downer episode, and then they redeem it at the very end. Who knows?
But we'll be here next week to talk about it. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully better spirits.
Hopefully. Or there will be stronger spirits. I will tell you that.
There will be spirits. There'll be a tasting.
So yeah, this has been the Almost Sideshow, Season 4, Episode 5 of Barry. Man, this is weird, but we'll see where it goes from there. Until then, I really need one. High five.
Okay. Yay. No funny.